Welcome friends to the newest edition of Seahawkers What If, the most unique Seahawks preview show in the multiverse. I'm your host, Clinton Bonner. I'm joined by my good buddy, Adam Emmerich, and we have Mr. Phil on vacation, or he's really doing some great work down in Mexico, so we wish the very best to Mr. Phil, his family, while they're doing some work down in Mexico, doing really good work. But that means we have the one, the only, the great Brandon Schultz filling in for Mr. Phil this week as the, I guess, pseudo-protector of this universe, as we have Seahawks at Rams, the biggest game of the year. I'm going to start with Brandon. Brandon, how are you feeling stepping into the ginormous shoes that are Mr. Phil's?
Yeah, feeling a little uneasy. You know, when you're granted the protectorship of the universe, it's always, it weighs heavily on you. And especially with this being the first time I've ever been granted this authority and power. I'm unsure how to wield it, but if I can wield it to defeat the Rams, then I will.
I like that. Adam, how about you, bud? Now, the only thing I'll say that about Brandon so far so good. He called the universe, not the multiverse, but maybe we could have a little grace. What do you think?
Hey, look, he is a one universe kind of guy. I get it. Like, not everybody lives in the multiverse, but heavy is the head that wears the crown, Brandon. We'll see how this goes here. But fun with Mr. Phil being out. This is the first time we'll do it without him down there doing. I'm not convinced he does what he does for his real job. I think he's a CIA agent. I think he's running ops down there. That's my guess.
Well, it's a guess. Yeah.
Yep. Maybe Bloomy's down there too. He's what, the other CIA op that we have in the community?
Oh, 1,000%. If you don't think they're running this thing together, I don't know what to tell you.
Did you guys see Bloomy's little video from his new estate, his chateau?
No. I missed that one.
It's in our Discord for the flockers out there, and that's out on Facebook too. But he just says, hello from my new home in Paris, France. And he pans left or right, whatever. He's like steps from the Eiffel Tower. I was like, you know what, Bloomy? Golf clap. Well done, my man. You did good. CIA agent or whatever. However he did it, Adam, I don't know. But he's over in, he's over in Chez Paris. Our Seahawks are going to SoFi. We're both 7-2. We got lots of flockers with us. We have a theme that Brandon put together, and I'm fired up to do it all. So what do you think we get going pretty soon there, Brandon?
Not only do we have a theme, we are also doing this live on a Friday night, and it wouldn't be a live show if we didn't have Ryan 911 joining us, our live executive producer, with a $9.99 super chat saying "Go Hawks," and we've got Michael Knight joining us as well with a $5 super chat. So "Go Hawks" to Ryan, "Go Hawks" to Michael, and "Go Hawks" to Norma, who is also checking in. Appreciate everybody tuning in live. And yes, we do have a theme for this week's show, and it is the DVOA Bowl. And we've got our Seahawks, we've got the Rams. They are number 1 and number 2 in DVOA. So the theme this week is, what if our Seahawks dominate the DVOA Bowl? And we've got 4 categories that are lettered, 4 that are numbered, because nobody knows what DVOA means as the acronym. So on this show, we're all going to learn together what DVOA means, gentlemen. And, you know how Phil always kicks us off with previously with the Protector. Well, yeah. I am the Protector now, and we're going to talk a little bit of Los Angeles Rams. Yes, they are top in DVOA, and if you look across some of the different categories, offensive DVOA, they're 3rd. Passing, they're 2nd. Rushing, they're 3rd. One of the big reasons why they are above the Seahawks and number 1 in DVOA is because they are 3rd in rushing. The Seahawks much further down that list. DVOA on defense, they are 5th in the NFL, 3rd in passing DVOA, and they are number 6 against the run. So, points against, they're one of the top teams in the league. They've only given up 15.9 points per game, and they're just coming off a victory over the stupid San Francisco 49ers. What I'd like to call just a high school JV slap fight, 42-26, and now they've got to come and face a real team in the Seahawks. The Rams defense against the Niners, they forced 2 turnovers against the Niners. One of the things that we got to watch out for, though, the Rams defense is the top team in forced fumbles, one of the top teams in forced fumbles this season. I think there's a couple with 8, and they're sitting around 7. They held Christian McCaffrey to just 30 yards on the ground on 12 carries. Of course, McCaffrey did have a bunch of catches through the air. No sacks for the Rams defense against the Mac Jones-led Niners. So I thought that was kind of interesting to point that out. That Rams offense, they got off to a fast start, up 21-0 in the first 17 minutes. That sounds familiar. Tight end heavy. They went tight end heavy in this game, which is something that Adam and I talked about on our show this week. I feel like it's been talked about a lot, but Colby Parkinson out there, Tyler Higbee, Davis Allen, and then Ferguson. Turd Ferguson, maybe?
Turd Ferguson.
Stafford, deadly against the Niners when blitz. He went 14 for 20 for 190 yards. And the Rams, the Niners tried to fight back for a little bit, but ultimately the Rams got the victory. And here we are. Now they've got us to deal with, guys.
Well, they managed to defeat a depleted Niners team. That's cute. And now we get to see them down there in SoFi for the DVOA Bowl. This is a great topic, Brandon. I'm very, very impressed with you coming up with this. I know that it was a little more difficult maybe than you thought. Like all the stuff that Phil puts into this.
He makes it look so easy.
He does, man. And this is going to be fun because, dudes, is it Sunday yet? Like I'm still wondering, is it Sunday?
Oh my gosh. So for me, I was traveling all week for work. I was like basically out early Tuesday, home Thursday, like whatever, late flights, early flights, all this stuff. But I haven't really had a lot of time to focus. I've listened to a couple of podcasts here and there, but sincerely less absorbed in Seattle than I usually am in a regular week. And I'm just like shotgunning it right now. I finished wraps up that I had to get done, had to get a proposal out the door, finished that late Friday. And I've been like literally shotgunning content and then riding right into this. I am fired up. And I did want to share this from Smoke as well. So we got our member Smoke saying, bring on the sacrificial lambs. He's been a member for 6 months. So if you're out on YouTube, like, subscribe, youtube.com/Seahawkers podcast, and become a member or join us in the Discord. Do all the things. It's a lot of fun. All right, Brandon, well, I think you've done a marvelous job setting us up so far. I'm going to reserve judgment, but who goes first this week?
All right. Well, Adam went first last time. So, Sir Clinton, it's going to be your turn to pick first. You may pick a letter or a number.
Or a number, yeah, that's how it goes. Okay, look, some may say V is for vendetta. I say V is for Vissois, victory. Let's go.
Well, I almost went with victory for this, but V is for vengeance this week. And
very nice.
It is because we've got Cooper Kupp, we've got Ernest Jones, we've got a couple coaches that may be looking for vengeance. So, Clinton, what if only one former Rams player or coach, Jake Peets, obviously, former Rams coach, what if they can exact their vengeance? How does it play out on Sunday?
All right, I will talk about Cooper Kupp because I know full well Adam will talk about Jake Peets before he talks about Kupp. So, and by the way, in a press conference the other day, McDonald just called him Coop. Not Cooper, not Cooper Kupp, just Coop. So, progress. All right, so I'll talk about Kupp. And look, the Rams, they like to play zone. They from their DB perspective, I don't think they have the from their team in general, it's not the strongest part of their team, in my opinion, their DB room in general, and they like to get into lots of zone. Okay, so if we know that Cooper Kupp is not the fastest and doesn't get the most separation anymore, but what he, I think, can still do is find nooks, find pockets, sit down in those little bits of zone, and then he has been good at getting the most yak he possibly can get that his legs will allow at this tender age, it seems. So I think there'll be a little bit more volume to Cooper Kupp than, let's say, Vegas is calling for. And perhaps on a different show, I might, see how many receptions he might get. But I think he's, looking to get between 2.5, 3 receptions, what they're saying. I will not be surprised if he's really more in the 4 to 5 range. The last thing I'll say about it is Kupp's, while his volume has not been big, it's usually been first downs, sometimes on third down, and then he's getting plenty of yak. So how will it play out? I don't think it's like a huge, vengeance game for him, but I think he'll be present, and I think he'll be in that 4 to 5 reception range, maybe 55 to 60 yards. And that's going to be, I think it's going to be a pretty good day for Cooper Kupp, where he's present, he's felt, and we walk out of there with a W, by the way. So that's it. Nothing too bombastic, but a nice game.
Adam, sometimes it's not the volume of the cup, it's how you fill it. How is Ernest Jones? I assume you're leaving him, or are you going to go with the coaching staff?
Oh, geez, Louise. We have one Rams player on this staff there, or on this team, that is in the middle of their prime, was cut unnecessarily, traded unnecessarily, ends up going to the purgatory of Tennessee.
Ugh.
And I can't imagine him being real happy about that. And it doesn't sound like it from his pressers over the years. With that said, I think the former Ram, to give these current Rams the most grief will be EJ4. Because, look, the one thing that the Rams have to do to make sure that offense really rolls the way that they want it to roll is run the rock. And they've been running it all year, and they run it between the tackles a lot, and that just plays right down the pipe to EJ4. So when the defensive line does their thing up front, keeps him clean, he's going to be able to get in there and clean up all those Kyron Williams runs. And even if Blake Corum gets a few touches, get them to be one-dimensional. And then at that point, it's let those 4 dudes up front go hunt and make life as rough on Stafford as you possibly can and try to hold them to under 27 points or so, and you win this football game. So I really think Ernest is going to be a big key to this game if he can get back out on the field. It sounds like it was trending that way last I checked. So let's keep our fingers crossed.
The word from Coach Mike McDonald on Friday was he said that Ernest is going to be out there if we need him, and he says, and we're going to need him.
Perfect. Well, there you go. So the vengeance will be coming from Ernest Jones IV, yes. And I'm looking forward to it.
Both Ernest Jones and Cooper Kupp named captains for this Sunday's game.
Captain, my captain. Look at that. All right.
All right, Adam. V is off the board. You can go with DOA or a number, 1 or 2.
All right. Well, I'm number 1 here, so we're going with number 1.
Let us go to number 1. Matt Stafford is number 1 in the MVP favorite voting right now. He has 20 straight. Well, okay. Clinton goes, it's when I pulled this up, it was before the Thursday night football game. And now, actually, Patriots quarterback Drake May has jumped into the MVP favorite conversation. But we're not playing Drake May. We are playing Matt Stafford. And he has 20 straight touchdowns with 0 interceptions. He is number 1 in explosive passing plays on the season at quarterback. Adam, what if you can pick one way for Seattle to settle him down?
Okay, so first off, the postseason awards and all that, like MVPs and stuff, like who gives a rip? I couldn't care less. Like it just doesn't matter at all. You know what matters even less than that? Being an MVP favorite, roughly halfway through the season. Hooray. Congratulations to Matt Stafford then on that. But if I had to pick one way for Seattle to shut him down, it would be that Leo and Murph are running games up front and they're getting pressure right up the gut on Stafford and making him have to move off his spot so he's not throwing in rhythm and on time. Make him move around a little bit. Not that he can't throw on the run. He absolutely can. He can throw from all the arm angles. We all know that. But if you're getting pressure, quick pressure up the middle and getting a couple knocks on him, even if he's making completions, you're really going to slow him down over the course of the game. So that's what I'm looking for, man. If we could do that, my prayers would be answered in this game.
Free Truth in the chat saying pressure will break his bubble. Clinton, what is one way that we can shut down Matt Stafford?
Yeah, I mean, it is tied to pressure for sure because he's good. He's got the weapons. It's seemingly Devontae Adams is healthy and Puka's really good. And yeah, they're doing the cute 13 personnel thing, and that's fine. All good there. But the Mike McDonald's ability to get free rushers when not even blitzing, just when he does the sim pressure stuff or when he blitzes. And and then even like especially when he blitzes, like he did last week, right? I mean, so one time it was Nicky Manwari just running DeMarcado backwards so that Tyrese Knight had a free reign at him. Next time it was Tyrese Knight running through DeMarcado and still getting it done himself. So the blitzes in the A-B gap have been exceptionally successful this year. They don't always get home, of course. That's just not how it works. But Seattle's ability to get free rushers right through the middle. So one way is, hey, we play nickel, maybe even some dime, and we still get pressure with 4, and we still stop the run with 4. Very unique. Not many teams can do it. Seattle is probably best in the league with still stopping the run when they have the quote unquote lighter players out there because of the even warriors and spoons, et cetera, et cetera. The other way is to gin it up a little bit and bring that blitz through the AB gap. And they've just been exceptional at it, guys. So between both of what Adam said and then just mixing it in, I don't think you could overdo it with Stafford. I think he can burn you, but you certainly mix it in. And between that kind of little concoction, you could do well. One last thing I'll say is people forget that last year, this is a better defense than last year. The game where Geno throws the pick 6 and we lose that game in overtime, McDonald had the most, or the Seattle defense with McDonald had the most 3-and-outs ever delivered to a McVay Rams team in their history. And that was last year. This is a better defense. So, and I think we're playing better as well. So it's not like it's an impossible task. They've looked good so far. They have not played a defense as good as ours, and I think it's going to show.
Longtime producer Ron Pepper coming into chat. He has DVOA figured out. He's coming in with a $4.99 super chat. Defense violates O-line all day. I would like to see that, Ron.
Yeah, let's go. That would be perfect.
All right.
Good stuff.
In the DVOA Bowl, we have D, O, and A, and the number 2. Clinton, where do you want to go?
Give me D.
Clinton loves
You want the D?
The D.
I want the D.
Okay.
D, of course, stands for double down. What if you could double down on a prediction or area of the team you feel strongly about? Tell me, Clinton, one thing you're sure we'll see on Sunday.
Okay. One thing. So let me just bounce around the room a little bit real quick. Look, the thing that it comes to my mind that I think is going to be incredibly difficult to not have happen is that JSN's going to eat. Like, I will double down on JSN eating. People are like, oh, he only had this many versus this team. I'm like, guys, he's getting pulled out of games in the third and fourth quarter. He's getting shut down the second half after going 5 or 6 receptions, 80 or 90 yards in the first half. Last time, just talking about it, that game against the Rams last year, JSN was going absolutely bonkers. That was a worse team with worse pass protection and worse scheme. And I don't think the Rams have improved all that much defensively from last year to this year. They're a good team. The Rams are a very, very good team. But if I'm like sure of something, I am sure JSN is going to get his, and it's going to be a pretty impressive number. Very difficult for the Rams to stop him. And I think it's going to be, I won't give metrics around it right now, but everybody's going to know it. How are they going to stop JSN? I don't see it happening. So I will double and triple down on that.
And on top of that, Clinton, I've seen that I think the Rams are 27th in the league against wide receiver ones.
Yeah.
So that lines up perfectly with what I think we're going to see coming up against the Rams on Sunday. Adam, one thing that you are sure that we'll see on Sunday.
Well, I agree with Clinton first and foremost. And for that to happen, then the thing that I'm sure is going to happen will happen to make it happen. And that's going to be the offensive line is going to continue to be good in pass protection. Look, we've seen them against another stud defensive line in the Texans, and they held up. That wasn't a problem in that game. They held up pretty decently in the Bucs game as well. This Rams team, I watched the Niners game in its entirety the other day, and you mentioned 0 sacks, Brandon, but they weren't even getting close to Mac Jones for the majority of the game. He had clean pocket after clean pocket after clean pocket. And as good as Jared Verse is, as good as Frisk is, as good as Kobe Turner is, who I think will be out this game, it's sounding like, or is doubtful at the very least, I expect this offensive line to be able to hold up like it has against every other defensive line that it's come across this year, because I don't think these guys are on the same level as the Seahawks defensive line. And if they can do that, if they can use the scheme to make it difficult for their defenders to tee off in the passing game, as we have all year. And they can gel together as they have all year, even with Olu subbing in, who's a good enough replacement for Sundell. I don't think that's a big drop off there. These guys will be able to protect Darnold, feed the ball to JSN, score 40 points, and go home with the 3 people from LA that show up to the game going home and crying.
We got Marlon in the chat saying Turner is questionable. We've also got Northwest Gambit, a member of 25 months, saying so excited for the game Sunday. Catfish the Lambs. Yes, catfish the Lambs indeed. Clinton has taken all of the D, and there is no D left. So now, Adam, where you want to go? We've got O, we've got A, and the number 2.
Well, after you've had some of the D, then you have some O. Let's go with the O, and we'll go there.
O stands for Ofer. What if there's only one player who can deliver a shutout in the stats column? Get or deliver a shutout. Who takes the Ofer? Which player or position group is responsible? It is Ofer, and as in Adam has gone 0 for 3 in his last 3 outings against Clinton in picking what ifs. What you got in this one, Adam?
So this is which Ram will go Ofer? Is that
it can be
our
which
question?
Ram is Ofer? It could be a Seahawk that is Ofer, maybe in a good way. It's just you are predicting an Ofer, okay. A 0 on the stat sheet.
All right. Well, the big narrative in this game that the national media likes to talk about, even though I don't think it's the biggest story in this game, is Sam Darnold and his history against the Rams over the last couple games. And, we talked about it a little bit on the flagship a couple days ago, and there is something to him coming in, having his first, I think, really big game as a Seahawk and needing to perform in all of that. And the big thing that has kept him from getting over the hump with the Rams to this point has been turnovers. And really the team as a whole this year, turnovers has been a problem. So I'm looking for Sam Darnold to go over in the turnover column and play a very clean game. And if he can do that, we have an excellent chance of walking out of LA with a victory.
Back-to-back weeks that Adam has predicted Ofer in the turnover column for Sam Darnold. Let's hope this week is the week.
Speak Clinton. It into existence, baby. Let's go.
Clinton, who do you think's going Ofer?
I got a little twin pack. It'd be quick. The first one's especially the Rams punditry and everybody. They love to suddenly talk about Nate Landman, their linebacker, because he does the peanut punch and he's so good at it. He's so good at it. You know what? You're good at stuff like that until it doesn't work, and you keep trying. I mean, Kobe Bryant was great at it. Continues to be good at dislodging the ball, but it's high variance stuff. So for the Rams fans out there that are like counting on another peanut punch by Landman, not going to happen. So that's going to be an offer for that dude all day long. The more significant offer that I want to see and I think can happen is let's keep Davante Adams out of the end zone. He is scoring touchdowns at an amazing clip. So the dude to do that is you put your most athletic DB against that man. You let Tariq Woolen go man up against Davante Adams and beat him. And that would be a great sign for Tariq, for our DB room, for the Seahawks. Davante has 9 touchdowns on the year, I want to say. He's still really good at age 32. And wouldn't it be lovely if we saw Tariq Woolen locking him down and he had a big goose egg when it came to putting 6 on the board there, Brandon?
There we go. No turnovers for Sam, no touchdowns for Davante, and no punches out for Landman. And we go on to the next category. Clinton, we've got an A and we've got a 2. What one do you want to go with?
Those are both terrible. Give me an A.
Give him an A.
Might be awesome. You don't know. Yeah.
A is for acquittal, Clinton. What if this game is an acquittal for Sam Darnold's past performances? Is there a path to acquittal, either win or lose, for our quarterback?
Yeah, I mean, certainly he could play well and we could lose the game. So to answer that, yes. Unfortunately, the Rams maybe run the ball real well, whatever. Stafford outduels him type thing, but quarterbacks don't play defense type thing. So that's possible for sure to answer that part. The path for him to kind of like exercise some of these ghosts, I think that starts with what Adam was hinting at earlier, is that's a little bit dependent on how our line continues to pass block. With that, Sam's playing really good football. Sam is processing probably at the highest level he has in his career. Kubiak is helping him out, and I think there's success on the horizon for Sam in this game. You look at the over/under stats from Vegas. Vegas has his over/under for yards like 251. That's a lot. That's a lot of yards for Sam Darnold. They have him throwing the ball like 30 or 31 times and getting to 250 yards or more. So they're expecting success from Sam Darnold, and so am I. So I don't think he's got to be like 4 touchdowns Sam for the Seahawks to win this game. I think if he's steady Sam and the fourth quarter goes to double zeros there, and we've won that game with maybe we've put up 28 points and defense did their job, Sam is acquitted for now, of course, right? He's playing really good football, so I think the short answer is, yeah, Brandon, he could absolutely have a path to both of those.
All right, Adam. Clinton thinks that there's a potential that the defense could give up this game and it not land on Sam Darnold. What do you think we're coming out of this game saying after Sam has this opportunity to perform against the Rams, which he didn't do last year? We talked about that a little bit on the flagship show. What do you see for a potential acquittal for Sam Darnold?
Well, if Sam comes out of this game and the L doesn't fit, then you must acquit. And I think the thing that'll happen is the Seahawks are going to stick to their heavy packages and the run game as they have all year. And if they can do that and force the Rams out of their dime defenses and their lighter boxes and all of that, then it's going to open up downfield as it has all year long, and Sam will have himself a brilliant game. And so the big thing that they have to do is keep running the rock. And even if it doesn't look effective, as everybody keeps saying, or it's not good, it is good. You know why it's good? Because it's setting up all the explosives. That means the run game's good. Like, I understand the yards per carry isn't the greatest and the yards per game and all of that, but the way they're going about it is good because it's making the offense better. They can continue to do that, get the Rams into base, and throw the ball over the yard. Sam's going to have himself a day, and he'll walk away a free man.
All right, Adam is transitioning into the run game, which is what the category has to deal with number 2. Our Seahawks jump to second to last in rushing yards in the NFL after their win over the Arizona Cardinals. They sit at 816 yards compared to the Texans' 813. Adam, what if the Seahawks merely play to their standard in the run game? You started to get to it. Maybe expand on it a little coming up here against the Rams.
Yeah, you betcha. So, again, I'll go back to something I've been saying for years and years and years. Yards don't matter. And that's been the case. I just made the case for it just in my previous answers why the yards aren't a big deal in terms of their run game. But I think Olu is a good run blocker, and he can help with the offensive line up front. You're going to get in the heavy personnel stuff, and they have really been kind of tuning in what works better for them ever since the bye week in terms of the run scheme. And they're going to stretch the defense horizontally, I think, again, with Shaheed. You're probably going to see a bit more of that to try to free the space up inside for them so that Charbonnet and K9 can do their thing. I'm pretty confident that they can at least replicate what they've been doing. And if the Rams insist on playing their lighter personnel all day to see if they can beat them with the run game, they will. Because all the other teams have been playing heavy personnel to match up with the Seahawks to stop the run game, because they know if the Seahawks ever do get the run game going to the point to where the yards start looking good as well, it's curtains. You're never going to beat them. So I'm pretty confident in it at this point, and I'm looking forward to it, Clinton. I wonder if you think, are they going to stay on schedule here with what they've been doing, or are we going to see a deviation from the norm?
So my expectation is that it'll be, I'm not saying 190-something yards like it was against the very lowly Cardinals, but I think the run game is on the up and up. So if the Seahawks merely play the standard in their run game, I think it's going to be a difficult game for us to win. So now it doesn't have to be, because of all the reasons that the play action's been amazing, and we're building off that anyway. So you don't have to have that success, as we've covered a couple times now. But I do think we're going to have more success. Adam talked about it a bit. We like to stay in nickel and dime and the lighter stuff, and we have the personnel to still keep your yards per carry sickly low, even when we have the quote unquote lighter guys out there. We named the names earlier. The Rams don't have that. They like to get into nickel, but then they're not good at defending the run. So I look at the game over some different slices. And one of the key areas is that we could stay in the lighter packages and still defend the run. We've proven it. Now, can we do it against the Rams, who are a pretty good run team? We'll see. I'm confident the Rams cannot do that. And if they decide to do that, as Adam was saying earlier, then I think we have larger numbers. Maybe we rush for 150, 160. And if we're doing that, well, then if we're successful with play action when we're merely getting it done with the running, well, what happens when we actually start to get it done with running? I think it opens up even more potentially. So I expect us to do a little bit more than usual. And I think there's good logic behind it there, Brandon.
We've got Chris Smokehawk Nelson joining us live, coming in with the chat saying, is this defense better than the Rams offense? Yes. Is the offense better than the Rams defense? Also, yes. Special teams.
They're bad on special teams. So,
they are bad. Yeah.
Bad,
where you look
I don't know. They got the new thicker kicker, so we'll see.
Yeah, the thicker kicker picker upper, but the other dude, what was his Cardi, I think, right? Cardi, who couldn't kick field goals. He was good at the knuckle thing. He could knuckle it down and land it in the landing zone. I don't think the thicker kicker is quite as skilled at that yet. So we'll see. We'll be fine.
All right. Well, we are going to the wishing well as part of our flock. Adam, why don't you let people know how, if they want to get into the flock, they can do that and get their wishes read live as part of this What If show?
Go to getintheflock.com. Get in at $3 a month into the Discord level of our different tiers there. And in the Discord, you will find the What If channel. You can put in your wishes for the upcoming week. And this is a show that we feel is every bit as much your guys', the little flockers, as it is Phil's or anybody's. And we love being able to interact with you guys this way and get your wishes out there. So go to getintheflock.com, do it with a smile, put in your credit card, $3 a month, and have yourself a day.
Yes, and WISH stands for What If Superhawks, so we're going to call out some of our What If Superhawks as part of this, and also want to get to your guys here in a second. But we've got God Zero Hawk saying, WISH running back room combines for 150-plus rush yards, not including Shaheed jet sweeps. Be nice. California 12th man, or Canada, yeah, California 12th man. WISH unleash the Oots. I want to see at least 3 touches, one of which goes for a touchdown or 2-point conversion. Almost stood for Oots in this game as part of the DVOA. But we've got 12th man record with the WISH. We win the turnover battle. The snail coming in. I wish for 3 Byron Murphy sacks this weekend. Nostradamus chosen. WISH Matt Stafford's luck runs out. We get an interception on him and hold him to under 250 passing yards, 2 touchdowns, and 1 interception. JSN Jiggy with it. Lisa with a wish. Legitimate Minotaur and D Law sacks. The Minotaur, of course. He should have had one with Mafe out there, but we didn't quite get to see that. So their tackles are shite. Also, our DBs show the same swag and fart on Puka's head while breaking up Stafford passes. Oh, Lisa. Yokai Hawk with the wish. Underneath the pass breakups from everyone on D. Droppers, pullers, pressers. We are going to need penalty-free Superman diving, wingspan spreading, anticipatory and reactionary, desperate, fantastic greatness. And a wish for EJ4 on fire for 4 quarters, leading by example with other linebackers following his example. Northwest Gambit, my wish is for the Hawks to break Stafford's no interception streak. Nate Schutz, wishing for Byron Murphy and Big Cat to make Stafford uncomfortable all day and combine for 3+ sacks from the defensive tackle position. while the Rams fail to get much done on the ground. Jeremy Evergreen wishing for K9 to break out and show the staff that he is the number one option for the run game. And Levin the Good Life wish, let's solidify who we really are this week against their hair gel, the best in the West and the NFC. Wow. So, gentlemen, let us start with Clinton. Who is your what if Superhawk this week?
Wow. I first want to recognize the pennies that were thrown into the wishing well there. First, the volume. Secondly, you got fart jokes from Lisa. You got, wishes for Oots. You got wishes for Murphy and Leo combining. So there was a lot of really good stuff around the horn there. So very, very nice. The one that I was thinking about the most throughout the week, I think it's the levee will break with this guy. So Lisa will be very happy with this. I called last week. My wish last week was for Mafe and the Minotaur Hall to combine for at least 1.5 sacks. We didn't get that. We get the one that they give to Mafe. We actually think they combined for a sack. I'm just going to go out there and be like, look, Hall gets at least one full sack in this game. That could be 2 halvesies, 1 fulsome. He's been so freaking close, and if you look at all the stats on like most disruptive guys and most rushes, he's on the leaderboard every single time in spite of missing a couple of weeks with that injury and whatever, like regression to the mean type thing. He's going to get home. So why not let it be against this stupid Rams team? Derek Hall for the win, for the blitz, and for the Hawkra.
Adam, who you got?
I like it. I like the Derek Hall pick there for sure. Look, I'm not going to pick a player. My what if Superhawk is for Coach Mike Macdonald. Look, this is why he was hired. This right here. Get the program turned around on defense. Start playing at elite level again. Be a team that all the rest of the league fears with your physicality, your shocking effort, and all of the stuff that Mike talks about. Be the defensive Yang to Sean McVay's Yang here and shut him down. And specifically the way that I want Mike Macdonald's scheme in defense to dominate this game is to hold Kyron Williams to under 65 yards. So that is my wish for Mike Macdonald in his diabolical defensive scheme, is to really make the Rams one-dimensional, make it tough on Stafford. Not that he can't beat you all by himself, because he is that dude. He can be. But it sure does make it a lot tougher on him. And I can't wait to see Mike. If he gets the win here, it's not the end-all, be-all, of course, because we're going to see the Rams one more time, at least this year, if not a second time, depending on how things go going down the road. But this is a great way to start your statement in your second year with your offense that you want to run, combined with the defense that you've been building and the personnel, to show that, you know what, the Lambs' reign of terror, it's over. Like, let's go. I can't wait for it. Let's go, Mike.
Coach Vrabel is getting a lot of hype as Coach of the Year candidate, for a good reason. With the way that the Patriots are playing, and able to beat the Bills a couple weeks ago, and he's got Drake May looking like an MVP candidate. So I think there's some Seahawks fans, Clinton, who are a little bit frustrated that maybe Coach McDonald isn't falling into that category. But I think, as we're talking about Coach Mike here, a win against the Rams, I don't think we're going to have to be hoping for him to be a part of that discussion. I think he will be a part of that discussion after this weekend once we come away with the win.
100%. Like that's, I don't concern myself with such earthly pleasures as Coach of the Year. But if we are to talk about it, you're right. This win would just absolutely catapult him up there. And sure, Vrabel's 9-2, and you can't take a darn thing away from what they've done there. But this will go a long, long way. And also, the next chance to this is the game of the week. I know it's not the Fox game of the week and all that jazz, but it is the game that everybody is paying attention to. This is the game, and that's gonna be a lot of fun as well. Yeah, man. So that's how I see it, Brendan.
All right. Anything else you want?
If you've ever, I will say this: if you've ever wanted proof of the east of the Mississippi bias, like if this week, with the way that they've scheduled out the games and not flex the Rams Hawks into Sunday night, it doesn't prove it to you. I don't know what does.
Well, don't they get like don't the networks have a say? Don't
They
they get
do,
to,
and
like,
I think
protect one game? Yeah.
I found
That's
out
what
the
I'm saying.
reason why. It's because the Seahawks and the Rams already have a game together in prime time on Thursday night, and so because of that, there's no allowance for flexing that same game to a prime time. It doesn't make any sense, but I think
Yeah, and it's also bullshit. Like, there's no way. Like, first off, Thursday is not prime time. It's just not. Nobody cares about
the
the
only
Thursday
game on the
games.
schedule.
Everybody hates them. But everybody hates Thursday night. That's not a prime
doesn't
time.
matter. Everybody hates it, but we all still watch it.
No, we don't. I don't. I rarely watch Thursday night football because it's god awful.
Well,
I don't know.
real quick,
Game last night
tell-
was kind of fun. The Jets actually put some points up early, and
It wasn't
Godzilla
bad.
Hawk coming in with a
Oh, yeah.
$15 super chat. What if the Seahawks running back room runs for 150 yards plus, not including Shaheed jet sweeps? Oh, I feel
Yes.
like I read this one already. This was up on the screen.
He did. He was just tossing us a little $15 bone there. We read it as part of the what if, the wishing well. But Godzilla Hawk he's so good. The wish so nice. He had to make sure it was read twice. That's how we'll frame it. And then we got to get to our predictions. Yeah, Brandon.
Yes, let us move on to score predictions. And we've got Clinton taking the lead after last week. I'm so glad that Phil actually discussed what happens if you guys were to tie last week, because Clinton, you predicted Mafe Hall with 1.5 sacks. Mafe was credited with 1. Maybe they shared it, but they definitely didn't get to 1.5. Adam had 0 turnovers from the offense. And then you both predicted a 4-point close victory over the Cardinals, but Clinton was closer on total points, predicting 27-23. So he predicted 50 points. Adam thought it would only be a 37 combined point game. So that gives Clinton the win 6-3. And Adam, you're going with the score this week. I don't know if that's the correct order, but I'm giving it to you because, man, you're running behind. And let's hear what you got for this week.
Sure. Look, if I don't get the score closer than Clinton, I don't care. I just love getting dubs, and like I don't care how it gets done. But I'll tell you this: I predict that the Seahawks are going to win this by 2 scores, not like a big 2 scores, but I'm going 27-17 Hawks. I think that people are sleeping on this team. I've listened to all the different coverage from all the different types of channels. I know somebody in the comments mentioned they got to the end of YouTube today, and I feel like I found the end of YouTube as well. And you get to their commentary about this game, and all we hear is, "Oh yeah," and then the Rams they're just amazing. They're the best team in football and all that. And like, no, Hawks are good, but Rams are the best team in football. I just don't think that's the case. I don't. I think the Seahawks play a more physical brand of football, and they're going to bring it to them down there in L.A.
All right. Adam has predicted a blowout, Clinton. You've got some space in the under. Of course,
That's
you've
not
got
a
some
blowout.
space of the. That's 10 points is a very sizable margin.
It's barely 2 scores.
When I think of a 10-point win over the Rams, I'm thinking it's 17 points going into the last minute. They get like a touchdown late to bring it close to only be 10-point score. So 17 points with 2 minutes to go is a significant enough blowout for me to consider and use the word blowout.
Hey, if you want to combine your prediction with mine to come up with what you just did there, I'm on board. Let's go with that. That sounds great, and that would be a blowout. Let's go.
Space is saying Rams are good, not going to lie. Clinton, what do you think we got for the score?
Yeah, Rams are good. We're better. We're a better football team. And I think we're going to show that. And we have a better defense. I think we have just as good as an offense, perhaps even more explosive offense, and we're much better on special teams. I had it written down, so I'm not trying to one up or one under Adam. I got this game at 31-20 Seahawks. I think we win this game kind of going away. And I think we're going to kind of wake up the rest of the NFL along the way to be like, yeah, we are that legit. Very last thing I'll say is I think Stafford is a wonderful quarterback. He's really, really good. They are super talented. Just like every other quarterback, especially aging ones, when you heat them up, they're way less super. And I am highly confident that we will be able to heat up Stafford basically when we want to and make them play from behind quite a bit, which they can, but this is a good defense. I think we're going to get a pick or two. I think we win this game, guys.
I love it. Yes, getting the win over the Rams, it would feel oh so nice. And I was curious to see which way you guys would go because, we were talking about DVOA, like both offensive teams, like they are highly potent offenses, but also they are. I mentioned at the top of this that the Rams are number 2 in points allowed on the season. Now, you can point to competition and in terms of the NFC West, but they've played some good teams. So to limit teams to an average of under 16 is very big. And so I was curious if you guys would go with more low scoring, but it sounds like we might be in for a little bit of a shootout more than a low scoring game.
I feel like 27-17 is a mid-level score for a football game. I don't see that as a shootout. I don't see that as a defensive battle. But because both offenses are really good and because both defenses are really good, that kind of takes me to an average-ish kind of score. So that's where I win.
Yokai Hawks, and let's talk about the one word that will truly determine the winner, adjustments. I have not heard that much discussion across the multiverse about the coaching battle. Yokai Hawks teeing it up for us, gentlemen. Clinton, what do you think in terms of a battle for adjustments in this game between Sean McVay and our head coach, Mike Macdonald? It's definitely going to... It's one of the things that's probably the most intriguing about this is that you have 2 young coaching talents and very adept at making adjustments in the game. What we could see happen throughout. What's on your radar there?
Logic, right? So I think it's a great question and a great topic, and it's really cool to bring it up to land us here. But logic kind of dictates that adjustments are obviously you have to have skilled coaches. Okay, check the box on both sides there, right? Start playing the who's got the advantage game. They're both awesome, so check. And then the logic piece is adjustments and the ability to execute on adjustments come from flexibility, and that's because of depth and wider talent. We are a deeper team. So if we want to spin up some adjustments, and that will likely come in the formations, the overloads, the twists, the stunts, the sim blitzes, the variety of what Macdonald can do with scheme, and then the players he could throw at that in an unexpected way. I think it's just advantage Seahawks again. So from an adjustment standpoint, I look at logically, I think we have a slight advantage in both parts that make up adjustments.
What do you got, Adam?
Yeah, it's interesting to me because we talk a lot about the McDonald-McVay matchup, and we're talking about adjustments here. And I think both those coaches are brilliant. I think they'll both have a good grasp on what's happening throughout the game and make good adjustments. But I want to talk about the Nepo coordinators. So you got Shula and Kubiak. And I think it's those two, when our offense is going against their defense, is where you're really going to look at it and see who's making the adjustments throughout the second half of the game and who does a better job at that. And that could be a massive determining factor. And because these guys are, I mean, Shula's been there, 2 years now, and this is Kubiak's first year, both relatively new on the job at their coordinator positions. That's the coaching matchup that I think intrigues me a little bit more in this game.
Thank goodness there is no N in DVOA, because I would have been kicking myself for not coming up with Nepo coordinators for the N. But you guys did a great job. Thanks for allowing me to fill in for the Protector this week. Thanks to everybody who joined in live with us here on a Friday night. God Zero Hawk donating to the show, along with Ron, Pepper, Michael Knight, and of course Ryan, our live executive producer. Fun show, guys. Well done. And man, oh man, I cannot wait for a victory against the stupid LA Rams on Sunday.
Dude, let's go. I can't wait. I want this victory so bad. Like, it hurts. I can't stand LA. They're my biggest sports hate team by far, without question. I can't stand anything about their franchise. I'm sick and tired of their run in the NFC West, and just watching John and Mike put together this team and seeing how they're rolling right now. I've never felt as confident as I have in the last couple of years going into a Rams game. and let's get after it, man. Like, send these boys packing. I can't wait for a victory, Clinton. I imagine that you're kind of on the same page here.
Yeah, let's land it with this. Like Smokehawk with the $5 super chat saying, anyone notice the star treatment our JSN has been getting from the refs lately? Yeah, he's starting to get like the Michael Jordan treatment, and I like it. Look,
yeah. If he doesn't catch it, then he probably got fouled.
Yeah, probably. Exactly right. JSN, I think he's going to dominate, guys. So I love that Smoke is bringing that up to at the end here, because I think we're going to see a lot of JSN, like an overload of JSN, and I don't think they can do anything about it. And that's going to be a lovely thing. And if we run with Oots and we run with Sharps and we run with K9 and we got our tight ends cooking and maybe we get a barnyard or two and we get contributions from others and Sam's in rhythm, we are going to win this friggin' game, boys.
And with that, what if we all say, Go Hawks?
Go Hawks. Go Hawks.